Turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
Hello. Hi. How you doing? We are back. I know you guys missed us. We missed you too, but life's sometime. And post Juneteenth, we are back with our, the Bear Glow. I have with me, as always, the beautiful, the lovely Helen. Say hello to the people.
Hi, people.
And because we were gone for last week, we are doing another 2-for-1, which means we will be recapping My New Therapist Says and Homecoming. A lot happened, but not a lot, so we can just jump right in. What were your general impressions about? I guess let's just treat this as a whole episode.
Okay, as a whole episode, because it was kind of 2 filler-ish episodes, right? We had to meet the new therapist. The first thing was my girl is gone, which is cool.
But you had just said she was coming back. You were hoping she'd come back.
Yeah, I was hoping she was coming back. I get it. They replaced her with a Black woman. That's wonderful. I don't know the circumstances under which she left. Maybe it was because she also didn't want to call the shot. Who knows? I hope it wasn't because there was backlash about them not seeing a Black therapist. I understand the need to do that with people that look like you and think like you and feel like you and blah, blah, blah. But she worked. So I hope that wasn't the reason. But either way, we got Monica. We got our good sis. I like it. I don't hate it. How do you feel about it?
I feel the same way. It could have been Rosie. Like, let me put that out there. I don't want people to say Deandra said it was because that's not what the case is. But I agree. It feels like it comes from a place of why don't these Black girls have a Black therapist? And that was my initial thought. I won't lie. Because of the show is created, so they could have made the therapist Black. But I am a Black girl who at one point had a white female therapist because that's who I had. And she worked, and I did not want to go to somebody else just so I could say I have this person with me. Now, if they had given me a choice, I probably would have said I would prefer a Black therapist. But the therapist that was on hand, that was available, which I needed very quickly and decided to stick with, was perfect. So anyway, point is, I am happy to see Cree because I like Cree Summer. Anyway, like, how could you not like Cree Summer? And it feels like she's giving them the same energy that their old therapist did. I do still think if we're going to do anything outside of them having a Black therapist, I do still think that it is very odd and weird that they all have the same therapist.
Yes, that is
because it's just weird, and it's like, okay, sure, it could happen because if I have somebody, then I could refer you to her and I could refer you to her, and it's this how it goes. But they made it a point to say that they didn't realize they were all seeing the same lady until after they were all seeing the same lady, which
in New York.
Like, okay, all right, in Harlem, but okay, whatever. Whatever. With that said, I want to jump right into Whitney. Okay, so
come on.
I get her. I understand her. I understand that she did what she did for her. We established that, and that's cool. I also think that sometimes people mess up and they can say sorry and be done with it. Like, you don't have to fall on your face and lay prostrate and beg for their forgiveness because they're not a deity. They are a person. So she doesn't have to do that. My problem with Whitney, my huge problem with Whitney, my humongous problem with Whitney is that she's almost making it Ola's fault. And I don't like that, because if you resent him, that's fine. Now, it's sad and it sucks, but it's also a thing that can happen because it is. You don't want to resent people. I don't think anybody decides, I want to resent you, but you do. And the biggest issue I have with it is that it seems like, because the first thing she said when the pastor lied to them, because I hate when he said, I'm sorry, I misled you. No, you lied.
Right.
You lied and made them come together, which I think is whack. But she said, after all, something to the effect of, after all I did for you, or after all the sacrifices I made for you, or something to that effect. And I'm like, I get it, Whitney, because you have it seems like a pretty successful career and job and all these things too. But Ola is a doctor. And we all know that when you are a doctor, that doesn't give you many choices for how you make that path to become a doctor. So when she decided to date Ola and go full in and say, I am with you, you know that means that on a dime, you might have to move to Nova Scotia or Minnesota or Las Vegas, Nevada, or, I'm not going to Minnesota. But I made that clear. Like I said, hey, I will follow you anywhere except Minnesota. Like that is a decision I made for me, because I know that I would resent you if I had to move to Minnesota. Now, but it's still a decision I made. And I say that to say, you can't say, don't think for me, I'll think for myself, and then get angry because a person doesn't pull out of you that you are feeling a way. Right? Now, emotional intelligence is a thing. It's a thing, and I get it. So you may be doing too much, but if Helen, if we decide to do this podcast, you and I, and you say, I'm okay with doing this podcast, D, I want to do this podcast with you. And I say, okay, but it might mean that you'll have to record on a Saturday afternoon. You say, no, it's fine. So on a Saturday afternoon, when you have to come home maybe earlier than you wanted to, but you don't tell me that, how is that my fault?
It's not. And what stuck out to me about what Whitney said, because it's a message, guys, and it's the message that I've been preaching for my whole life. She said, I didn't do those things because I wanted to. I did them because I was afraid of losing you. Baby, listen. Don't do it. If you don't want to do a thing, don't do it. And you may have lost him sooner. But look at where we are now.
Look at, because now we're
look at where we got.
We're irreparable now, right? So you do it before, you say, I know that I said I could handle this, but I cannot. I can't handle being in this place. I can't handle following you to this place. I can't handle you being the only person that I've been with forever long. I can't do it. I love you, but it's just not smart. You break up and then you go have your phase and you do whatever. And maybe y'all come back. Maybe. Because that's not a bridge burned. Now, hindsight, maybe. But I just feel like she's just coming off real selfish. And I just think that's who she is. I think she's just a really selfish person. And I didn't really think about it or pay it any mind until now, because it didn't matter. It's just weird. I don't know. I hope she understands that another relationship where he's not moving or he's not a doctor or whatever else isn't going to fix whatever this is. Like, she's got to figure out what it is.
Her problem. Bingo. Which brings me, if you don't mind, to Sunday. Sunday. Because the man proposed to her.
Yeah, he did.
Down on one knee in that restaurant, and she left him for dead. And look, I went back and rewatched the episode this morning, because I needed to be sure. She said, I'll be right back. Now, if you was having a panic attack and you ran away and you didn't say nothing, I might not expect you to be coming back. If you run off from me after I propose to you, I might don't expect you to come back. I'm like thinking, damn, she ain't come back. She said, I'll be right back. Why, girl? But why that brought me here
can be overwhelming.
Proposals can be overwhelming. But that brought me here because this is not fixing Sandy's problem. And I think I figured out where they're trying to take us here.
Please, enlighten me.
The one thing I didn't like about Monica's analysis of her was that she felt stuck with him. So that, she just wasn't realizing that she just didn't really want to be with him. I don't think that's actually the case. I think she sees him succeeding and doing what he wanted to do and what he wants to do. And she said it herself, we see our futures differently. But what I don't understand is why she feels like him having tenure and being stable, which is part of the reason why she was with him, not the tenure, but like him being stable, having a home, having a child. She knew that was the case. So I don't understand why she feels like him doing the things that he wanted to do is sticking her somewhere. She's feeling herself because she see her face on Twitter and she wants to go do whatever. You can still have that man at that house. Baby, airplanes and trains and cars go all over the United States. You can get on anybody's podcast you want to. I'm sitting here on yours in my home. And I found us a new place down the road that we could do a podcast too. Like, I do not think that she doesn't want to be with him. And I think she's silly for not. I don't know that if you feel like you don't want to marry somebody, by all means, don't. I think she is still a baby, for lack of a better word. And she just doesn't know what she wants. So she's conflating not knowing what she wants with
not wanting him.
With not wanting him. So I don't get it.
I think too, I want to say I give us credit because we've said this since we started that Sandy is not as smart, or I won't say smart because she is very smart. She's not as together as she thinks she is. And I think part of the reason she thinks she's so together is because Whitney thought she was. Like other people see her as, and it's not Sandy that's together. It's Matthew. Mm-hmm. So they're saying, well, Matthew is well put together. He's stable. He's got his life in order. And they're seeing Sandy in that when it's not. That's not her. That's him. I was thinking though, I think y'all please just bear with me, okay? Okay. I think there is an overcorrection when it comes to writing also, right? We are in a new era where women can do whatever we want to do. We don't need men. We don't need relationships. We don't need these things. So now a lot of our narratives are individual, independent led narratives, which is cool, right? Because like you said before, Sandy doesn't have to have a reason to not want to be with Matthew. She could just decide, I don't want to be with Matthew anymore. Okay. That's fine. But in most real life, she didn't seem like a type of person who would just be like, well, I don't want it, so it's over. And, people have been talking about how folks have taken therapy too and started using weaponizing it against their friends. So if I say, Helen, I need to tell you something, and you say, Deandra, I don't have the capacity to talk to you about that today. And I'm like, well, dang, I just wanted to tell you I was having a bad day. But okay, you're right. You don't have the emotional capacity. But friendships, loving, real relationships don't always work like that. Like, you have the right to say, I don't have the capacity. But you also have, in my opinion, the duty as a person who loves me and who loves other people to see that they need you and to say, let me find it, right? Mm-hmm. Let me figure out a way where I can give this person the kindness, the attention, the something, a piece of it that they need, because that's important to people you love. So for her to just be like, it just snapped off. And I don't know if it's because of, tell me her name, Simone. Sandra. Yes. Simone? Who? Amari's mom.
Damn it. It's not Simone, is it? Maybe Simone.
Tika. Tika, you're supposed to remember. I told you I was going to forget again. But Tika's character coming back is almost like they're trying to show us that she was with Matthew for Amari because she thought Amari needed her. And now that Amari's mom is there, she can, without guilt, just be like, that's it. And if that's the case, that's fine. Which leads me to Amari. I love how she was like, oh, dang, I'm going to miss you. But good luck. I was hoping they didn't make it all, make it all messy and weird or whatever else. Because it's a lot. Because this person has been in her life for, 2 years? 2 years. But she's fairly young, right?
She's going to, and Sandy is not wrong. That little girl is going to forget her.
She's going to. Well, and she's going to forget. Well, you know what? I don't think, okay. I think Sandy and Matthew may have thought that Amari saw their relationship differently than Amari actually saw it. Not that they didn't have a good relationship, because I believe they did. I think Amari was like, this is my daddy's friend who's nice and sweet to me, who lives with us, who I'm cool with. I don't think she ever saw her as a mother figure. I just don't. I don't think she saw her as a mother. I thought she saw her more of a older sister or auntie or friend, a grown up best friend. I do, because she always knew she had her mom. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why she was just able to be like, oh, okay.
Right. And I think she did see her like, I think she knew that, that's my dad's girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's to the extent that a 7-year-old can know what a girlfriend is. But I think she's going to forget because once she's 7 and you don't start really remembering anything like continuously until you're 7. So everything before you're 7, you might have some memories, but you don't remember like this is where it was in the timeline. So that's when that starts psychologically, but also it was only 2 years out of her life. And in the grand scheme of things, like right now, that's about a fifth of her life. But as she gets older, it will be but a moment, right? And like my uncle used to have girlfriends, and like he had one, like I remember their name, maybe one of them, right? And like you were telling me about Larry, like you remember a couple of names. That's it. Right. So,
by the way, my dad's name isn't Larry. Okay. We'll get into that later.
I don't want to put him out on Front Street like that.
Yeah, we're not going to. We're not going to. But she thinks my dad looks like Larry Lane for people. That's what the point is. But anyway, whatever. But like you were saying, yes, go ahead. Your age, you kind of relate.
You get older, and you be like, oh, well, there was, I used to have this friend named Sandy, and we did this like one time. She'll have maybe 4 or 5 fond memories. If it's not a core memory, it won't get remembered.
I was going to say, I could see it as being like she sees a random ass picture 5 years from now, be like, oh man, I forgot about Sandy, and then just move on about her life. Like she will really forget her. Like it's okay, because
and it is okay, and I want Sandy to get over that part of it, because I think
she has to.
That, and I hope they don't bring that back, honestly, because let it go. Like, don't let that be the reason you go back to Matthew.
But it seems like they're getting rid of all the boys.
They are, right? But they bringing us a billionaire. They bringing in the millionaire, which is fine with me. Come on, taking me to Miami on the first date. Let's
talk about him quick, because again, admittedly, Jason's my guy outside of him being a thief. And I know you can't take one thing from the other, but I want people to understand that I am very, very adamant about the whole, I get why Renee, if she's never with Jason again, I would understand, because he did, he stole from her. That needs to be very clear, because he did. Like, he took money without her knowledge, which is stealing. That's what it is. Right. The billionaire dude, I want to like him. It's hard because I still ship Jason and Renee. I'm sorry. Whatever. But he seems like a very, very nice guy. And I hope they don't do that thing where they, you have like a love triangle. So they make one person really bad or do something totally out of character so that the other person can swoop in. I hope they don't do that. If she does go back to Jason, or she stays with the new guy, I hope it's just because she's made a decision.
Well, I don't hope. I mean, I think that the last scene in this last episode kind of smoothed Jason over for what it's worth. Because when the dude came in to tell her that the car was ready and found out she was going to the private airport, and she paused
and said it stuff like,
oh, and he just left. So he said, that's
private.
Yeah, he said. And she was like, it's a friend. I'm flying with a friend. Oh,
yeah, no.
A friend you flying with, girl. No. So yeah, I think that might have smoothed Jason off of her. You know what I'm saying? Like, at this, he's like looking at her like, yeah, you've been in Atlanta, but sir, you've been in Atlanta tricking off on strippers and things.
And he has. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. He absolutely
and there's nothing wrong with that. Y'all are separated. It's cool. Y'all are planning on a divorce, I suppose. They did kind of touch on that. She hasn't filed for divorce yet.
Why?
Why
hasn't she? Why? Because she's the one that wanted it, right?
Because she wanted the divorce, and because he's a thief.
He is a thief.
Rightfully so. But she wanted the divorce. She ghosted the millionaire because he was getting a little too familiar too soon. But I understand from his perspective why. Because he did actually feel comfortable. And like you said, when you got this much money, people want you. They don't want you. They want your money. They want what you can provide. And with Renee, there wasn't that. So he felt comfortable. He moved in a comfortable way. And she got scared by that. So she ghosted him, but it fixed itself. Whatever. I mean, it was cute. I can't believe she fell asleep on the couch and was like, girl,
didn't do anything. Get up. I would have
called him
or texted the number just to see what would happen. Like, that's just my curiosity would have been like, oh, let me text it. What's gonna happen? When you text it, what's gonna happen? Because they probably would have said, oh, come upstairs. Anyway, I want to say too, I think with Renee, the whole thing with Renee, I hope that her business part of it still comes to fruition. Like, I don't want it to be just him, but if it is,
I mean, but it wasn't him, it was his connection, which is cool because I feel like he, as a millionaire, is doing the responsible thing and helping out smaller businesses because the CBD thing that she was doing, they're a small business and they need representation for PR. And she is also a small business who does representation for PR. So you put those people together and you lift everybody up. So I am here for Millionaire Boy. Can't think of his name. Daryl, Derek, Daniel, Terrell.
I don't know. Yeah, him.
But I'm here for him. He's not my type. You know that. But he's cute enough.
He's not your type. He's not.
He's not my type.
There's a question, but to me, with his connection, that would be like if I say, "Hey, Helen, I got a podcast," and you work for the company that is in top competition with the highest streaming platform, and you just say, "Oh, okay, that's cool." But what you mean that's cool? I'm telling you, put my podcast on your streaming service. Like, it would be silly for me to be so, no, I'm gonna get it out the mud. No, that's how you get it out the mud. You figure out ways to get your name in places where it needs to be, and then you do the work, because the work has still got to prove itself, right? But if somebody can put you wherever you need to be to make it happen, then yeah, put me on. I am not above it. Please do. You do. Do you think they're making room for your girl to come back? Ella.
Okay. So sweet things, because we got off on a Renee tangent, but I did think it was incredibly sweet that Jason showed up at the funeral. So sweet. So sweet. And then he got the stole back. But who did he call?
Still trying to figure it out too.
He came in and said I had to make a few calls. Sir, it was in a cardboard box and got sold.
Who bought it? Like, for real, who's the fur stole dealer? Because it was a mink, right?
It was a mink stole, but it was in a box of an old woman's things that got sold probably in just some random order. Like, I went to a thrift store today and bought a mystery box that had 10 pieces of jewelry and a fragrance. It was $12. It was completely sick. Like,
there you go.
Call? Who could somebody call if they wanted one of them items back for me today?
I don't know, but I thought it was incredibly beautiful that he did. Like, that was dope, and that really touched my heart, because I think in it too it goes to show that those relationships are real. So back to Sandy, it's just odd that she's just kind of like, well, you know, I mean, Matthew, it is what it is. I want to be famous, and he wants to be a professor. Like, oh, okay, you can. And again, I want to really, really, really say, if she doesn't want to be with him, we're not trying to force it. That's not the point. I just say that if we're going to write away people because we want everybody to be single at the same time, let's like make it make sense. Right.
Give us a reason.
Like, they could have wrote something weird before in the first few episodes, even with Amari's mom. Like, write something weird in there, like Matthew didn't handle that well, or she just didn't like the way Matthew handled it, or she realized that she can't handle just something else other than just, oh, it's been like this for a while. And like, where
they could, well, it's been with her. So if you go back and watch, which I mean, obviously you don't have to, but you should. Everybody should rewatch it, give them all the ratings, whatever, because we need a season 3, right? But when you can tell when she looks at him. So in the sex scene, when the ceiling starts leaking, it's when he speaks, she looks at him away. She questions herself. She questions their relationship. It's just a look, because it happened when he got off when he read the email about the tenure. It was camera direct to her face, and she was like looking like, oh, that's so great for you, but sucks that you want to be stuck. Like, it's really just looks. So you might not catch it because it's literally just the way that she looks at him. So I think they were trying to pull us along there, but everybody ain't gonna catch them glances.
Question. Do they move in together, become even this close if they had not been found out? And I asked that because I didn't think they were doing anything to not be exposed. Remember, because when they were exposed, because they went to the ballet, which is whatever. I mean, you can explain that away, whatever. But in the park, when they kissed in the park, my first thought was, what are y'all doing? Like, what are y'all doing? So when they got caught, I wasn't surprised at all, because I'm like, well, yeah, y'all all out willy-nilly kissing in the park. Now, who reported you? I don't know. But it happened, and she panicked, but it worked out. So do you think, had that not happened, she'd be okay? Did the moving in freak her out? Did the everybody knows freak her out? What was it?
I think it was the moving in. I think that was the moving in, and then the mama moving back together is kind of what threw her all the way over. Because the moving in is fine. Like, I feel like maybe this is soon, or maybe this is too much right now. Like, I can understand that. But then on top of that, because she said it to the therapist, she was like, we've been, or I was more involved when Tika wasn't here. Because I was taking care of Amari, we were taking care of Amari. We were doing XYZ for Amari. Like, she was kind of operating in that. And now that the Amari element is kind of gone, it's weird for her. And she's realizing some things that she should have just realized from the beginning. Now, what I think is, if they really wanted to just write the relationship away, he could have just completely reacted awfully to the apartment news, because well within your rights to just be like, you know what? You're not. If he had decided, I don't think you're ready for this because you lied to me about this and you kept this, and clearly there's some other reason that you kept this. I mean, there's a billion reasons, and all of them are good reasons, except for I'm not ready to be in a relationship with you. Like, all of the other reasons are good reasons, but that would be the reason to me that they would have broken up. Not in the next 2 episodes he proposes, which I knew. And Renee was like, I can smell a proposal from 6 months away. Who didn't know that was
coming? When they moved in together, because my thought is, okay, that would be the next logical step, right? To marry her, if that's what you want. Okay. And then when Tika came back, I'm like, oh, they're definitely gonna get married now, because why not?
Now she needs legitimacy.
You got your freedom even. Well, yes, I do. I mean freedom, because children need a whole lot of attention. So now that frees y'all up, because now she's got another guardian. So she'll only be with you, worst case, 80% of the time.
Right.
I said, well, worst case, 50% of the time. And you can do all these things, and I'm sure you can still include her. I mean, I'm not saying he wants her gone from his life, but now y'all have got time alone. Before, when you had none, I seem essentially, because it seemed like she was always around.
Right. She was always around, and she was always, she's 7, right? She's always needing something.
And when I say around, I mean, like, no family, all that type of things. I'm sure she had friends and slept over or whatever else, or maybe not, because some parents ain't with that. But it seemed like she was always home, because that's where she lives. And I don't know where I know they mentioned Matthew's family. Her name's Naomi. Mentioned Matthew's family, but I don't know where they are because I think that house is a family. Yeah. So I don't know. But that was episode what 6 already, or am I tripping?
5 and 6.
And that leaves 4 and 5. 4 and 5. So that leaves 3 more, 6, 7, and 8. So we only have 3 more episodes to go. In those 3 episodes, I don't know. I wonder what we're doing though. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Whitney gave away Ola's stuff. She was giving away her stuff.
I don't understand that, but okay. So, like I said, I feel like we got the closure that we needed in the pastor's office.
Yeah.
But then, okay, so we got to talk about the Whitney again because the dynamic that she has with her parents is weird to me.
It is.
Because she's sitting over there huffing and puffing when they're talking to Sandy, but then she don't want to talk about nothing. So it's like, I think you would be glad for the distraction of somebody else instead of sitting over there like, oh, y'all ain't paying me no attention. That's why I feel like she is so selfish because, girl, you didn't even want to talk to people.
Yes. She's very selfish.
Want to talk to them. And shit, I forgot what I was going to say. They were sitting at the table and she was all huffing. Oh, she lied to her parents because she was like, we tried to make it work.
Yeah. No, we didn't.
And it wasn't, maybe she wanted to try. Like, I believe that she wanted to, but y'all didn't try because Ola didn't want to try.
And she could have just said, we just didn't work, like for whatever. Because she don't have to say, oh, I cheated on him, right? She ain't got to tell her parents that. She could just say, I know y'all wanted to work, but neither of you wanted it to work more than I did. And it didn't. So we got to let it go. Like, we got to push past it. And I know y'all saw him as your son-in-law. And I'm sure this is a loss for you too, because, kind of everybody breaking up. Well, obviously not the dad because they still talking, but everybody needs to break up. That's how I am. I don't know how y'all do it, but when I break up, everybody break up. Okay. We don't communicate. We don't get to go to the barbershop. We don't get to come to the cookout, unless you got kids. I get that. Like, that's fine.
Yeah, kids are different.
But other than that, no.
We not kikiing. We not ha nothing. Let me tell you something. All y'all out there in podcast land, if I break up with you and your people, you've broken up with all of my people. All of them. Don't talk to my friends. Real. They're not your friends anymore.
Mm-mm. Sorry.
Not sorry.
She got me in the divorce. I am sorry. Full custody. No visitation.
No visitation. None.
I mean, Maya said it, y'all ain't got no kids. You know what I'm saying? Get it right, change, take back this ring. Although, it is what it is. But like, that's it. I just want Whitney to get it together.
Why is she selling his stuff?
She's giving away?
Oh, that too. Giving it away. She's gonna donate it to the church.
Yeah, I don't know why she's doing it, and 2, why she thinks she should do it. And because he said he was coming back to get it. Like he said, I will let you know when I come back to get it. So I'm assuming she's gonna sell that place, or is she just gonna keep it? Because I guess she can afford it.
Well, she said she thought it was unfair that she was living in a 3-bedroom apartment with just her paying the rent. But I
think it's unfair too. But she
and see Ola with his titties out on a dating app,
wiping the sweat away because I work out, because I work out,
I think that might have been the straw that broke the camel's back for Whitney, and she just said, you know what, this stuff has to get out of my space immediately.
But I just thought about too. We're gonna wrap this up, y'all. But Whitney, is not good. It's communication. She sucks at communication, and we should have seen this coming because her mom said the same thing. You remember when they had dinner, and she's like, you're just gonna come in and judge me and do this, and her mom was like, no, I don't do that. I don't talk to you because you don't talk to me. So I don't know how you expect me to know what's going on when every time I try to talk to you, this is the attitude I get. Because who wants to deal with that? Every time I talk to you, you just, Mom, I'm like, you're a grown woman. Stop. Just tell your mom what's going on. Or Just stop talking to her. I'm sorry.
Or tell her it's none of her business. Like, or
say
you
it's
want to
none of your
handle it by
business.
yourself.
Yeah.
It's
It
really
ain't
not that
it ain't
hard.
you, mama. I just got something going on. I don't really want to talk to you about it. It ain't nothing personal. It's just you, my mama, and I don't want to talk to you about it.
Right.
Be
But
done.
I think she feels like her mom is gonna judge her because they seem like
judgy.
They seem like nice people, but they seem like their initial stance is to be judgy. Because that toupee sitting up on top of daddy's head was like, but no. But also, I want her to realize
the doctor.
Right, like these are your parents. Sure, their first instinct might be to judge.
Right.
But they love you.
Mm-hmm.
They love you. And it'll work itself out. And I want her and everybody else to realize that.
Please do. Okay. So do you think Renee sticks with Millionaire, or she dates him for a long time and then just kind of chills? Are you a person who thinks that people need a break between relationships?
I think so.
Yeah.
I
think not necessarily because of the whole well, it depends. For me, it depends. Because sometimes people break up, but they've broken up for like my first real relationship, we broke up long before we broke up, right? So when it finally happened, sure, I was sad because it was final, but it had been happening for a while. So,
well, I think with Renee, in this instance, I'm not sure that she needs a lot of time, because when something is right and it feels good, it's right and it feels good, right? And you continue to do it until it doesn't. And that's fine. So I guess that could go for everybody. There's nothing fundamentally wrong, or I won't say wrong. There's nothing fundamentally going on with her that she needed to look at or bring attention to in herself or work on, besides maybe quitting her job and going out for herself, which she has done. So I don't really think there's anything that she's not toxic. She's not like, like there's nothing that she really needs to work on. So I think going into another relationship kind of immediately works for her.
And she did therapy too. She did go to therapy about it. Yeah. So, except she's not divorced yet. She's still not divorced.
But he knows.
And I think the only reason I think she's not ready is because I think she's not over Jason, because I don't think she necessarily wanted the divorce, but he stole from her. So she was like, I gotta get divorced because, I can't be married to a thief. So
I don't think she will ever be able to trust him. So she might as well just not go back.
Yeah, I agree. So that's where I think that's the only time she needs for healing, but I don't think that comes with a relationship. I think that comes from betrayal. Like she's got to get over the betrayal, but not necessarily the relationship. Or maybe she does, because, I don't think that last time they had sex was goodbye sex. I think that was horny sex. Yeah, and I think if they gonna have the last, shebang, come to Jesus, this is really it. I don't think they've had it yet. And I do think they need to have that before she can be all in with the boy.
Okay, well, I guess. One last thing, if we can. All right, so it was that's I said I had two sweet things. For Ella to write the eulogy, because why I'm not writing my grandma eulogy.
It was so sweet. And she's a writer. So
she did it like that. Is just she's like, I know you can't, let me take this off of your plate.
What friends do.
Like, if this helps.
I can't be there, so the least I can do. That was really sweet. I'm glad you brought that up, because that was very, very sweet. It was, because you can tell that she was very torn up about it. Like, and I know a lot of people would be like, well, why is she so concerned about the stove? It's because she told her she could have it. So it's always, this is the thing I have that's hers, that's not mine. And it's a part of her. It's material, but it's still a part of her. So it was very sweet. Good job, Ella. Okay, well, we now have to see. I'm assuming Naomi will be back. I don't see how, because if Sunday and Matthew they still work together, kind of.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll still see her. And I thought that maybe they incorporated because Amari will still want to see her, but Amari's kind of like.
But she might change her mind. 7-year-olds are fickle.
They are. Like, maybe she'll say, I want her to go to the ballet, and she doesn't.
She did invite her to her birthday party. She said you have to bring a gift.
That's what it was. She had to bring gifts. So I bet she comes to the
birthday
birthday party. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. They'll all be at the birthday party, and that's gonna be cool to see. And by cool, I mean
it's a trainer.
mess up down. Yeah. Well, that's all I have. Do you have anything else to add, my dear?
That is shout out to Barb, always coming back. We love how you do it.
We love it.
You and I love that she's rich because she's like, oh yeah, I invest in these.
Oh yeah, this all me in here. Hope y'all enjoy it. Roll them papers.
roll up.
roll them up. Yeah, but that's good. I hope she continues to come back because we all love Maxine Shaw / Barb
Attorney at law
/ Erica. We do. Yeah. Well, thanks for listening, watching, share, subscribe, comment, like, give your thoughts. That is our @ down there. That's Helen's @ over there. You can hit us up and let us know if you want to talk about it. We'll be there. Till next time, people. Peace.